Welcome back, guys, to Two Perfect Podcasts. My name is Yzel,
My name is Renz.
and we're not perfect.
Two Perfect Podcast is dedicated to three things.
First, we are dedicated to sharing super personal stories and owning our imperfection.
Second, we want to create a safe space where we can be our most authentic selves.
And third, we want to build a community for people like us who are fed up with the pressure of trying to be perfect. Or in Spanish, perfecto. So, I don't know why I added that.
See, for our Spanish listeners out there.
So special episode. I know I say it every time. It's
Every time
episode
it's
number
special.
10. Episode number 10. Oh my gosh.
It's both hands.
We did it. Double digits. This is an important milestone, and we are very excited for it. And yeah, today's episode is about friendship. And we're just going to talk about friendship with other people, with family, with yourself, just friendship. So, why do you want to talk about this topic?
I did not know you were going to ask me that, dude.
10 episodes and she still don't know.
I still don't have an answer each and every time. But if I have to answer it, I'd say it's we want to talk about this because it's important to reflect upon like your relationship with others and with yourselves and what that means for you, for me, and everyone else.
Yeah. I think just to piggyback on that, I think to really just own your sense of self, you also have to carefully choose what you surround yourself with, the people you do surround yourself with, and just how you are with yourself, because as humans, we end up becoming like the people that we are around. So, and that's, this show is all about really taking ownership of your sense of self. And so, of course, friendship is a big part of that. And speaking of friendship, how have you been?
I've been okay. Yeah, yesterday was awful for me. I was sick, so I was bedridden. I literally just slept it off. So yesterday didn't even exist to me. It felt like a Monday. I woke up and I'm like, oh my God, gotta do my Monday task. But I was like, wait a minute. It's Tuesday. So.
Oh, you're talking about today. You felt that way.
Yes. Because you know how yesterday didn't exist for me, basically. So when I woke up, I'm like, time to start my weekday.
On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being like death and 1 being like fully alive, how would you rate your sense of self yesterday?
Wait, so 10 is death and 1 is fully alive? Oh my God, why would you make this so much complicated? Yesterday I was at an 8.75.
Wow.
I mean, it was just awful. I had stomach issues and stuff, so it was just hurting, and I was just I'm just gonna go back to sleep so I don't have to feel it anymore. So, but much better today, and that's all you could really hope for. A better tomorrow.
I was going through different stages because we had to record yesterday and I hit you up and no response and no anything.
Nothing, yeah.
So I was like, okay, maybe she lost her phone. I went through all these thought processes, okay, maybe she lost her phone. And I was like, no, originally I was like, okay, maybe you're sleeping.
Yeah. Because that's very true.
Very likely,
especially in the earlier in the day.
Daytime. Yeah. So, okay, daytime, she's usually sleeping, so she's a vampire. that's fine. And then it got to like afternoonish, like later afternoon, and I was like, where is this hoe? Like, what the hell? And then I was calling you and still nothing. And I was like, did she lose her phone over the weekend? I was like, maybe she lost her phone over the weekend. And then it got to like maybe around 4-ish. And I was like, okay, maybe this is what happened. She was sleeping and then she woke up, realized she had to pick up her mom, and then got ready real quick, went to go pick up her mom, but left her phone behind. And so that's why she hasn't been messaging me back. So maybe she'll message me back around like 7:30, like, because that's usually when you get back from picking up your mom. And then it was like 8 something, and I was like, okay,
the hell?
What the fuck is happening?
I'm about to call the cops.
I'm about to call the cops. I'm about to show up. Like, what's happening? And then you eventually messaged me back at 9, and you're like, we had the conversation. But in the original stages, like, around, like, the morning time, first I was like, it said seen. Like, it said that you looked at all of, like, the memes that I was sending you and stuff, and I was like, she didn't like them. I felt so abandoned. I was like, wow, she didn't like my memes. I was like, this is unbelievable. Like, thinking about my meme sending choices. And I was reconsidering like our whole friendship for like a good 30 minutes.
Who am I? Who is she?
Who is she? Who are we? What are we?
And that's why this is today's episode.
I know. And then obviously I got over it after 30 minutes. I was like, okay, whatever. She's probably either like still sleeping, or I went through all that thought processes. But yeah, that's what was going through my head yesterday. And friendship.
Yeah. That's what happens when you're someone's best friends for so long. You just really know what they're doing usually. And then when something is out of the ordinary, you're just like, okay, this is weird. What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. I actually was thinking of calling Jackie, and then for some reason I didn't do it. I just felt like you weren't in actual danger.
Yeah.
I feel like if you were in actual danger, I would be able to tell.
You'd sense it.
Yeah, my like senses would, my spidey senses would start tingling. Like, something's not right here. But they didn't, so that's why I wasn't thinking it wasn't like real danger.
It wasn't like a 10. It was just like at a 3.
Yeah, my senses, exactly. But yeah, friendship, fun topic. I think I said that like take a shot every time I say friendship. If you're not 21 or 18 in whatever country you're in, because we have like, I'll look at the list and we have listeners in different countries, and it's like the legal drinking age
is 18
usually 13 12.
That's true too.
Whatever, but here in America it's 21. So if you're not 21 and you're in America, don't take a shot. Don't play that game. Take a shot of water.
Anyways, water is good. But don't get water poisoning.
This is the longest intro. Okay. Friendship. What were your earlier friendships like?
My earlier friendship consisted of like family, actually.
Yeah, your first friends.
Especially because like back in the Philippines, like
cousins.
There's so much of us. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Our cousins. It was.
How many cousins do you have? Are they your first cousins or your?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah. Because
your parents have a lot of siblings.
Yeah. My mom, I think, has 7. My dad has 8, or one or the other. And then like not each one of them, but a good amount of them would have like 5 to 7 kids. You know what I'm saying? And my mom was like one of the youngest too. So. There was already a lot of them by the time I got to the world. So I had a lot of friends in terms of my cousins. And then I think when I got to school, my first friends were usually like the quiet ones too. Because we talked about how I was like incredibly shy when I was younger. So I gravitated towards like similar characteristics.
Because it's comforting. It's familiar.
Yeah, we don't gotta talk. We could just
sit here. Was that really what it was like? Did you just sit there with your friends?
No,
Okay.
I think that's how it starts usually. But then, like, you get comfortable with each other, so then you talk a little bit more here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember in the Philippines, I befriended the girl that nobody liked.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is colorism in the Philippines.
Yes.
I mean, there's colorism everywhere, but in the Philippines, there is this sense of, you know, discrimination in terms of skin color. So if you are of darker complexion, people unfortunately looked down on you. And so she was of darker complexion, and she had like a really short haircut, like a boy haircut, essentially. And she was just very goofy, very quirky, very out there. And I believe that is why the kids would prejudge her. And I just, for some reason, thought I could befriend her, and she laughed at all my jokes. And that's why I liked her. And she was very, like, into my my Sailor Moon pencil case. And
Cute.
she, I don't know, she was into it, and yeah, she was cool.
Yeah.
But she was not my best friend per se. My best friend was this girl, Abigail. Abigail, if you're out there, hit me up, girl. Like, I miss her. I really wonder how she's doing. She was very, like, timid and very, but very cute. She was just such a cute girl. Like, everything about her was, I don't want to say ditzy, but she can kind of be, like, ditzy. And that's what I meant when I said cute.
Yeah.
Because it's, like, nicer.
She's just so adorable.
She's adorable, yeah. And I remember I went to her house and realized that she only lived with her mom. And she didn't have, like, the typical family structure. You know, her dad wasn't there. And I believe I asked, but I don't think I got an answer. Because that's not nice, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, she was super cool. So I think even at a very early age, I really enjoyed more of, like, the one-on-one.
I think it's outside.
Oh, I enjoyed more of the one-on-one interaction instead of, like, big social groups.
Yeah.
Even though, yes, did I hang out with, like, social groups too? Yes, I did. But it was more so, like, I don't know. I preferred having more of, like, a one-on-one.
Yeah. It's more doable.
Yeah, I think so. So that was, like, a little insight on my earlier friendships.
My first best friend, I think the reason we became best friend is because we had the same last name, so we sat next to each other, and we were both, like, tiny and small, and we were both, like, really quiet.
You related?
Yeah. So
you were related?
No, I didn't hear you.
Like, were you related? Yeah.
I thought you said when you were a little kid. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I was a little kid.
Yeah.
So it was just, like, circumstantial, and it just happened because it was, like, proximity.
Yeah.
But it also turned out, like, you know, we were just both very, like, quiet girls. But after that, most of my friendship became, like, hobby-based because I befriended everyone who loved to draw. So I'm like, you could draw. You draw so well. Like, let me be your friend. Yeah.
I feel like there's a girl that was really good at drawing in my first grade class. And she was from a different country. And I think everybody was, like, just super fascinated at the fact that she was not from the Philippines.
Yeah.
I think she was she Korean? No. I don't remember. But I felt like I wanted to be her friend, but I just couldn't.
I also
remember
had a similar
She also
experience.
sat, like, all the way across the room. So it's that proximity thing where it's like, okay, if they're not sitting near you, then it's kind of difficult to make that, you know, jump.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of friendships are actually based on proximity.
Right?
Even now, it's like, it's kind of, I mean, of course you have, like, internet and stuff like that, but, you know, who are you going to hang out with? Who are you going to do extracurricular activities on the weekends with? It's the people that are in your area. But anyways, what do you think you learned about yourself in your friendships with people?
It depends, because every friendship kind of, you learn something new, you know? I think we were like talking about this because there are friendships where it's annoying, and or it's not annoying. It just tends to, like, I feel a certain way about it, and then I reflect upon it, and I'm like, why do I find that annoying? And then I realize, like, those characteristics are also something that I do. So I was just like, why do I get annoyed when they do it, when I do it too sometimes, you know? So to me, in those types of friendship, it made me realize that I need to be more compassionate, I guess, or I need to be more understanding.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't get annoyed, or I shouldn't, like, discount that when it's something I'm working on myself too. So it helps me. It just
Can you give an example?
Understand. Can I give an example? Yeah, because there's some friendships where and we were talking about this earlier, where they can be needy, you know? They can be needy, or they just kind of want it to be, like, their way, and they kind of do it in, like, a guilt trippy way. So,
okay,
to me, I would get annoyed of that, and I would not, like, enjoy that person's company. But then, like, you know, I really sat on it, and I was just like, you know, I could be that way too, especially with, like, the people I'm really comfortable with, like with Jackie. I could get very
needy.
Yeah, you know, like, with his time, and then, like, he will also say, it's like, you know, why are you making me feel bad? And I don't realize that I'm making him feel bad, you know, because I'm just reacting authentically. But at the end of the day, I realize, like, okay, I'm like that too. So I can't just shit on this person for those things.
When you do the same things.
Yeah, because now I kind of understand where they're coming from. They're just probably coming from a place of loneliness, or they just want company. So I try to just, like, approach it differently.
I think it kind of goes, I don't know if we said this on the podcast or if this was, like, a one-on-one conversation, but I feel that we see people in relationship to ourselves.
Yeah.
It's difficult to take that step back and really think about the person as just who they are. And I know that probably sounds a little confusing, but I think I can explain it a bit better.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that, like, when you are looking at someone, or, you know, you're really only at first able to judge them in the way that they relate to you.
Yeah.
So, for example, oh man, can I think of an example?
I know, right?
For example, like, family. Like, your mom, you know, nags at you or is telling you to do something, or maybe it's not even nagging. Maybe your mom is just behaving in some sort of way and you're looking at it and it annoys you. I feel like that happened a lot in, like, high school, right? Yeah. Or as you get older, you feel like your parents are this, like, embarrassments out in public, and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be seen with my parents. If you didn't go through that, that's cool, but some people do. But in those situations, you are annoyed at them because you're looking at them in relation to you.
Yeah. Like, it's just your embarrassing mom. It's just your controlling mom.
Yeah, but she is her own individual, like, person capable of existing outside of your relationship with you.
Yeah.
And when you look at people that way, it becomes easier to accept their quirks and their, just their personality and how they are, even if at first it like originally annoyed you.
Yeah. I think we touched upon it in like the Lies episode, how like we saw like our parents as villains and heroes, where it just kind of really like limited how we saw them until like,
because you're thinking only of them as you're my parent, like I only see you as like that is your role, period. But that's not true. But you were saying
which is similarly to like what we do with our friends and the people around us, because they're just like our friends. And I know back in high school I like struggled with that in terms of like, and I see this as memes all the time too, of like how people come to a friend for advice and that friend will like choose to ignore that advice and still like do it, and I would see it, it's like, oh, my friend completely like ignoring my advice and letting them like, basically it's usually like letting them deal with the consequences and stuff. I always felt, or I felt some type of way where it's just like, what the hell, like you're not even gonna like listen to me, because I saw it as like, oh, that's what friendships are about. It's about like giving advice and helping each other, when in reality, like, no, like not really. Like you could give your advice and it's still up to them whether they want to take it or not.
Absolutely.
And it's no offense to you.
Exactly. And that's the last part of it. It's like people's actions and their behaviors and how they are, we have a tendency to take it personally when we're looking at it as in relation to us. Like with the example that you're giving with, that friend dismissing, or you feel like they're dismissing your advice because you gave them the advice and they decided not to take it and they did something else. It's not, that behavior is not anything against you. It's because they're their own person and they feel in that circumstance, for them it wasn't fitting, whatever the advice was. And I actually, it hit hard for me, this song in high school. It's like a Robin Thicke song, and it hurts that I can't remember it right now because I used to sing it.
No, I'm just kidding.
Hell to the no. Hell
I know, I'm just
kidding. No. It was this beautiful line that when I heard it, it was one of those like mind-blowing moments that changed my perspective on people and relationships and friendships and family and dynamics. He said, all the stupid things I do have absolutely no reflection on how I feel about you. And that's typically what we like, not like, but that's typically what we that's typically what we think, is if someone is behaving in a certain way, we translate it as like, oh, well, they must be feeling a sort of way about me, or we feel like they don't love me or they don't accept me because they're doing X, Y, and Z. No, it's not about you. It's about them. And that's friendship.
That's it.
That's it.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's it. No, but I think that realization, because I used to have, I don't know if I still do, I probably still do, used to have control issues. With like friendships and stuff, with everything. I wanted to be like in control, whether I subconsciously did it or consciously did it sometimes. I just always wanted to be in the driver's seat. I wanted to be the one calling the shots and making the calls. And anytime that there was resistance, I felt threatened. I felt like, do they
Sadist.
not? I felt like, do they not like appreciate what I do for them? Do they not see like what I bring? Or, I took it so personally, and it's like, no, bitch, like, you know what I mean? You can't.
It's not today.
You can't like expect people to be doing what you always want to do, or you can't be in control every single time all the time.
Yeah.
And friendship teaches you that.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people who struggle with like taking and giving a lot, and I think that's also what you learn with like friendship, being able to give as much as you can without like neglecting yourself and not not taking so much from another person too, because that's exhausting.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think, would you consider yourself a taker or a giver?
Both. I think when I was like really young, like in childhood, I was a taker because like kids are narcissists. They don't really know how to give. And I believe I was one of them. And then I think when I got to like maybe my adolescent, I became like a giver because I felt like no one wanted to be my friend. So it's like the only way I could have friends is to, please people. Yeah. And then as I became an adult, I realized like, that's not healthy. Like it should be a balance because friendship is a balance too.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. You have me thinking. I don't know. What an interesting balancing act. I think also an important aspect of friendship is managing expectations.
Yes.
It's like, it's interesting because everybody has, whether they have written it down or really thought about it, everybody has some sort of expectation of what type of role that someone is going to serve in their life.
Yeah.
And that includes your friends. With your friends, you think like, okay, my friends need to be like this, like this, like this, and like this. And if they're not, then
they're not my friend.
They're not my friend, or you feel hurt, or you feel some sort of way about it. And there's that piece of like, because I just started thinking about like giving and taking, and being able to balance that. It really coincides with your ability to manage what your expectations are of your friends. If you expect your friends to, be be there for you every single time you need them, it's like you are taking way too much. You don't take into consideration like, okay, what if they're going through something, or what if they don't have this space to be there for you. And I feel like a lot of media, they romanticize friendships, and you have this like really just outlandish idea of what friendships should be like. But I don't know. What do you think about that?
I definitely agree with you. I feel like when I was younger, it was like that for me. I think like maybe like 5 years ago, that's when I also realized that I had expectations of like what friendships needed to be. And I was like really hurt by some of the people in my life because they weren't meeting it.
And can you give me an example?
Yeah. This was, I'm sure you've heard this already because we talked about it before. It was just like, it was about like my birthday and how some people can't come, and I took it like really personally. And I took it as a sign like, wow, like you can't even be there for my birthday. So then I guess we're not that good of friends as I thought we were. And
it hurt you.
It hurt me. It hurt me for a long time. I stopped talking to them. I started ignoring them because, again, we were just talking about it, like in my eyes, like you didn't meet this. And I also thought myself as like someone who is like, I have a very low standard of like what friendship is the least you could do. It's a very like,
it's like you don't ask for much, so how could you not give this to me when I don't really ask anything of you?
Also note, this is also when I started my birth control, so I understand that was just crazy, so eventually after months of like not talking to them and them not knowing how to respond to my aggression, it that also kind of fueled how I felt, because I'm like, see, they don't
months.
Yeah, I think it was like 3 months. Because again, your girl was crazy.
3 months.
This was like honestly like the first 6 months of my my birth control.
Yeah.
So my thoughts and my emotions, the hormones inside me, it's like every time like I would get over it, then I would not get over it again. Like there was just a lot of
You're
things.
just holding on.
Exactly. Until I realized, I was just like, at the end of the day, they're never gonna come to me and have that talk with me, or like even ask me like, hey, what's wrong? So I just had to learn to get over it. I had to learn to let go of the expectations and just be like, okay, that's fine. Like, you don't, just because they can't come to my birthday doesn't mean
that they're less of a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never said this, but I actually felt that way for my 19th birthday. Was that my 19th birthday? My 19th birthday when you couldn't come.
I know.
I felt that way too. I never obviously said anything to you because I think I was talking myself through it. Yeah. So the story goes, we rented a house for my 19th birthday, and basically all of my best friends were there at that time, and she, being like the best friend, didn't show up, and she went to like, she was at Vegas with her family and like all these things. But my mindset on friendship was very skewed because of TP, because of our friend group that we had.
Yeah.
We definitely had that mindset of like ride or die. Whatever happens, like, we're gonna come through for each other. That was the type of atmosphere that we had built. And so when she didn't show up to my birthday, I was like, I was mad. I mean, I was okay. Yes, I was mad. And I was like, wow, I can't believe she's the only one who's not here. And like, literally all of my best friends are here. Like, what the fuck? But it just was something that I had to get over. I was like, whatever. It's like, what can I do now? It's in the past. Like, we're having fun. We're gonna just fucking move on. Like, who cares?
Right.
But yeah, managing expectations, managing yourself, managing your own emotions. There was
because
also
at the end of the day, it wasn't like I chose not to be there. I was literally trapped in traffic for 6 hours. I remember like having the worst FOMO that day, because we were literally driving down from Vegas at your birthday. It was like January 3.
Yeah.
So like the traffic was so bad. And then like my dad decided to do like a pit stop, and I'm like, you're freaking killing me here.
Yeah, because everybody was there.
Yeah, everyone was there, and it's my best friend. So I was like trying to get them to move as fast as possible, but like it was just not budging.
Yeah. There was also another story that I was going to talk about in terms of like managing expectations. I think when I was younger, like even early 20s, especially when I would like come home and stuff like that, because I went to school out of state, so I didn't get a lot of time with everybody, right? Because obviously I'm not home. But I felt like if people were not down to do the things that I wanted to do, I was like, the fuck? What do you mean? Like, it's me. Like, hello. Like, I'm never here. Like, come on. Like, we're doing this. And if it didn't go down, I would feel very frustrated. But obviously, I just kind of learned how to get over it.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I don't know if I should talk about this. I don't know if I should talk about this because it's a little personal.
Up to you. We do create a safe space where you can be your most authentic self.
I just thought of something because I'm thinking of like early 20s. I remember.
It brings you back, right?
Because we're talking about friendship, right? And managing expectations and just like letting go of that and letting your friends be whoever they are, because at the end of the day, if you are their friend, then you should give them the space to be who they are
who they want to be.
It's your job to support and understand. And if that's not a person that you are really digging, then you just got to step back and let them do whatever they want to do. And that's kind of like, I kind of felt that way. Oh, you already know what I'm gonna say. You already know. Yeah, I think you know what I'm gonna say.
I mean, if you're not gonna talk about it now, we'll talk about it later.
Yup.
Okay.
Yup. Because I just don't know how it will be received. This isn't like an earlier episode because we're going to be doing this podcast forever. So it's like,
right?
Once people actually really start to hear it, then this will be so far gone. Hopefully. No one's even going to get to this point.
Take it down. Just kidding.
Yeah, delete it and then cut it out and then repost and be like, oh, it's accidentally deleted.
Someone hacked us.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
It was managing this friendship. So basically, we had a friend group in high school. And at the end of high school, you know, it's the summertime, everyone's partying and kicking it. It's such a great feeling because everybody's so relieved that high school is done, and they're so excited to embrace this new sense of freedom of like, we're out of fucking high school, we're becoming into adults,
we can do whatever we want. We felt so unstoppable.
We felt free as hell. It's this level of freedom you are stepping into that just feels so like new and blissful. And so there was a lot of like kickbacks and hanging out and parties and stuff like that. And there was a person in the friend group that I was seeing, and I stopped seeing them because I found out that they were seeing somebody else and were basically lying to me about it. And I was like, okay. And I stepped out of that situation in a very immature way. I admit, like, it was immature of me to step out of that and not communicate. I didn't have the words because typically for me, oh man, am I gonna put myself on blast? Typically for me,
like we do every episode.
I know, like, especially in high school, I was a jerk. Like, I am so sorry if you come across this and I did any emotional damage to you. Dude, my bad. I was immature. But yeah, so it was just, I treated it just like any other type of fling, I guess, that I had. And I just kind of like stepped back without recognizing, like, oh shit, this is a person that's in our friend group.
Yeah.
And I didn't really think about that. But once I left, I was like, oh, it doesn't matter because I'll be leaving to the East Coast. I'm going to be on the other side of the country. So
that could be like its own natural end, you know?
Exactly. But it really wasn't. I very much just abruptly, like, with no explanation, basically ghosting before ghosting the word was like a thing. And I know that's mean, immature, disrespectful, whatever, especially if it's like a friend, you know? But I think shortly after that, you know, nothing really changed in the friend group.
Yeah.
And everybody remained friends. And I remember feeling some type of way.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, you know, I don't know, because I didn't talk about it with anybody. So it's not like I could expect anybody to feel any type of way, because it's not like I expressed hurt to you or to anyone. I didn't express my hurt to anybody, so I'm sure everybody was just assuming, like, oh, like, I guess this is not happening anymore. This is just something that we're gonna look over because no one's acknowledging it. But I did kind of feel some type of way with the fact that everybody remained so close friends with this person
Mm-hmm.
and didn't, which is dumb because at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't express how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
No one can read my mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they have insight to
Mm-hmm.
all the specifics of what went down. So why would it be like one side over the other? And then I'm not that type of person either.
Yeah.
So that was a big reason why I didn't say anything to anyone, because I didn't want anyone to not be this person's friend.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I kind of felt like you shouldn't be this person's friend because this person betrayed me.
Yeah.
And the fact that, like, you're still friends with them, like, you're disrespecting your friendship with me.
Yeah.
But obviously, I never said anything.
Yeah.
I've never even had this conversation
with you.
This
is first time, you guys.
So,
this is me. Wow.
So,
it's my turn this time to be like, this is news.
Yeah, but that's, managing your expectations in friendship and just checking yourself and understanding, like, everybody is their own person and, like, yeah.
I think what it is, too, is because it's, like, I feel like that's the way you just thought as, like, when you just become, like, a teenager, It was a very, like, pack mentality, because that's also how I felt like in high school, where it's just like you have loyalties. So it's like you pledge.
It's like a game.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we're
that's
a game
how it
here.
felt. And then, like, as you get older and, like, your friendship changed, because honestly, that friendship also, like, I did not see that coming. Like, I thought that was just a thing we did, like, during the summer. Like, this is just people that I'm throwing parties with.
Oh, but then it blossomed into, like, actual friendships.
Yeah, because it's just, like, again, it's proximity.
Yeah.
These are the people that stayed in the city. So it's like, oh, we're going to keep hanging out. Oh.
That was my reaction to it. I was like, oh, they're going to keep hanging out? Oh, okay. Because I had this super stupid idea. Like, obviously, I don't think it now, but, like, when I was younger in my, early college years, I was like, I felt like the only reason that space existed was because of my relationship with that person. Like, I kind of brought that together and I step out and then it's still maintained together. I was like, but I was the one that put this together.
I was the glue.
Yeah. Exactly. And the fact that it still stayed, I was like, okay, I see y'all, but no.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you are more than just, like, your first initial, like, thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, again, I get those thoughts, too, where it's, like, it's stemming from hurt. So it's, like, it's irrational, and you feel it, and you know better. Like, you obviously because I was going to ask you, it's, like, how did you let go of the expectations? Like, what helped you transition from that?
I think the way that I let go of those types of expectations is focusing on what I do have and focusing on, like, cultivating the relationships that I already had and keeping those expectations and basically being salty and, like, just being upset. Like, it doesn't do anything positive for you. I just didn't have the space to be upset. I think because I grew up in a household that was very aggressive and was very, like, upset all the time. There was always, like, some sort of problem. Somebody always had a problem in my family, and I just felt like, even as a child, I never wanted to be that person.
Yeah.
So I don't like holding on to anger. I try my best to just, like, let it pass, let it go, and focus on, like, what you can build with whoever, you're building with. Yeah. So I think that was a big part of how I was able to let that go. And I think I just have respect for you guys, and I have respect for myself to be like, okay, like you're your own person. Like I get it. I get it because this person's fucking cool as hell. Yeah. Like, which is why there was like something there. But so I understand completely. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Because same, you know, like as I said, I felt similarly when that happened to me.
Yeah.
And I was just like mad and annoyed and
the birthday.
Yeah, mm-hmm. You know, and I was just like, eventually I just realized, I was just like, you know, I'm tired of being mad. Because that's usually what it is for me. I just get tired of it because at the end of the day,
she don't like being tired.
I know, you know me. Yeah. I'm just like, oh man, I spent so much energy just being tired and they don't even care. Yeah. Because like, you know, I could tell like they're going about their day, their lives. It's like, to me, it's like I'm literally the only one affected by this. Mm-hmm. So it's my problem. Yep. I need to fix this. Yep. And if I just keep ignoring them, then we're definitely not going to be friends because I'm the one actively choosing.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, is that really what you want? Not to be friends?
No. They obviously no. So then I just let go of the anger. Yeah. I just started talking to them and I was just like, you know what? It's cool. Like at the end of the day, I realized like it's not about me. Mm-hmm. It's just they're busy. Stuff is going on in their life. And you just move on.
I think the energy thing is funny, but I think I am so motivated by freedom. Like that is my biggest motivator in life, is having my sense of freedom, that I would never want to constrict somebody else's freedom. And so for me to tell someone like, don't hang out with this person, to me, it just goes against my core beliefs. Yeah. It's like, do whatever the fuck you want. Like, I want to be free. I want you to be free. Yeah. And let's enjoy that.
Let's be both that.
Yeah. So that was a big thing for me. And then you talking about, like, getting tired, spending all that energy. I think I was spending so much energy building things with other people and just, like, building my life that I didn't have time. Yeah. I don't have time to be pressed. Like, you know what I mean? That's for people who have nothing else to do.
Yeah, especially because like, you know, during like your college times, you were literally like busy. So it's like when you're busy,
I'm not thinking about petty shit. Like I don't got time. But we do have time to talk about the friendship we have with ourselves.
That we do.
Or should we talk about our friendship?
We could talk about ourselves first, then we could talk about our friendship last, and then we...
It's like the same thing, right? Just kidding. That's what I'm saying! Friendship with myself. How do you feel about that?
I think for, like, the longest time, I was cool with, like, just having limited friends because I was my own friend for like the longest time. I used to like draw characters. Like I didn't know that's what I was doing, but I was basically just conjuring up people. Like, you know, I'm building characters that I would want to be friends with. But I didn't realize like usually the characters that I build are usually based off me or of who I want to be or you know, all those things. So I think that's a journey that I just been having for the longest time because I always have been craving friendship. And as I got older, I just really wanted to focus on my inner friendship. If that makes sense because I said it in a very roundabout ways.
So, okay, let me try and understand. You're saying that like when you were a kid, you actually really enjoyed your friendship with yourself. You were like drawing your characters and it was like a fun experience that you did for yourself. Yeah. And then you felt like you craved external, like outside friendships with other people, and then it's kind of gone in the circle of like now you want to get back to having that friendship with yourself.
With myself, again.
Interesting. And how do you go about doing that? How are you trying to develop your friendship with yourself?
I think it's just about like, again, because we talked about like the characteristics that I realized that I didn't like about myself, which is you know, I realized that I was asking or I felt like I was asking a lot of attention from Jackie, you know, or from like my friends. I just felt like I just felt like I needed them. And at the end of the day, it didn't feel right. Like, you know, it's like, why am I so dependent with these people? So to me, I just started working on just just being comfortable with being by myself. Like doing self-love stuff, like loving myself more, taking myself out on dates. And just even just seeing myself in like a positive light. Because I feel like that's something I always do for people. You know, I always find like their best characteristics, but I always kind of just talk myself into thinking like, man, you're so annoying. Like, why would they want to be friends with you? So to me, I just stop, I try to minimize that voice of like having that voice try to convince me that why would they want to be friends with you? Instead, I just say like, you know what? I would want to be my friend. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I wonder if everyone has comment below if you on YouTube, Two Perfect Podcasts. Oh, I forgot to do that intro. Anyways, this is not our weird. First time. Yeah, I think for that experience you're discussing with like being really cool with yourself and then kind of going in that roundabout or going in that circle where then you start focusing on like, oh, I want to be friends with all these other people, and then now kind of reeling it back in and being friends with yourself. I would say that it was a pretty similar experience for me. But I didn't really have that craving. I don't feel like it equates to how you really craved for friendship, you know, with other people. I didn't really ever have that craving per se.
Yeah.
Maybe even on the contrary, I felt like I wanted to limit my friendships with people, especially like how close I get to people.
Yeah.
I definitely take into consideration how close someone gets to me, because I only have very few seats for that. I only have
just one. And it's this one.
Yeah. And yeah, I just didn't really crave that. I think maybe I was scared. My friendship with myself was always like bipolar. It was like I love myself, I hate myself, I love myself, I hate myself, and it could happen in like the same minute. And it was always that feeling of like I'm not enough and oh, I'm fucking awesome. And it just kind of goes back and forth over and over and over. So I'm just like this confused person. Why would anybody want to be friends with that? Like, and I think that's why I limit the spaces I have with who my friends are. And I've always been that way. I really never cared to have a lot of friends. And I feel like in high school, middle school, like everywhere, that was actually something that people cared about that I saw. I never had that desire. And I think it goes back to what I was just saying about myself, because I was crazy. But now in my present moment, I'm really going above and beyond and trying to develop a better relationship with myself. I think that's like, you know, because of the panorama.
Yeah, got you to really spend a lot of time with yourself.
Yeah, right.
And that's really the only friend you can see.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Yeah. It's funny because, like, you know, I was like thinking about it, and to be honest, it's not that I wanted to have a lot of friends. I think I wanted to be well liked. And I think it's just a lot of shows, like, we were talking about it earlier. They make you feel some type of way. Like Friends was like one of the shows that I watched a lot growing up. So it's like I always crave for that. Just like a group of friends that's super intimate with everybody. Which I guess is what I got when like, TP became a thing. So it's always something that like I guess I was like kind of looking for until I realized like, again, that's letting go of your expectation, where it's like life is not a movie, like
it's not a show.
It's not a show, like it doesn't become like that. Like it can be comforting for you to watch those shows, to have those characters, but it's unfair to have that expectations to have implemented in the people of your lives.
It's kind of sick. It's kind of like, it's kind of crazy to think like, oh yeah, this is the kind of, environment that my friendship should be like. It's like, then you're limiting what it actually could be. Because you're so focused on designing it to this specification. When it's like, what if you just let it happen and then it actually turns out way better than that? Better than TV, better than movies or whatever. I think I was thinking about this today. My friendship with myself that I just wanted to share on the podcast. Also relates to like the energy that I have, because this is something that people have asked me on several occasions, different people throughout life. It's like, why do you have so much energy? Like, I don't understand how you can do so much all the time. And it's in like every stage of my life. And I realize it's because I do things I love to do. And when you do things you love to do, it energizes you. It acts as like a recharge. And when you don't do things that you love to do, you feel depleted. You feel like you've lost your sense of purpose because you're not doing the things you love to do. And that also coincides with the type of relationship you have for yourself. Because I think about the times where I really felt good about myself, and when I think about it, it's all of the things that I did that I truly love, when I was like dancing, or when I was choreographing, or when I was holding like leadership roles, or when I was playing rugby, or teaching, or like just doing those things that I just absolutely love to fucking do. And that's why I can do so much, because it's my battery. It's my lifeblood, This is I feel like I'm doing the things that I'm meant to do. And then I feel good about myself because that's how I care for myself, is I only do things I love to do.
It's your natural serotonin.
Exactly.
Wow, that's good advice.
And that's why, if I don't love something, I'm not going to do it. There's like absolutely no way that I would do something that I just don't love, because it's just not nice. It's just not nice to myself. And I'm thinking about all the things like, oh my God, but I could be doing all of these other things, It's almost as if if you have a healthy, amazing, romantic relationship that you feel super fulfilled in, and maybe for whatever reason you and that person break up, you still have an understanding of what a healthy, loving relationship should be like. And so any connection that you may make, and it's like it's not reaching that level of, what could be for you, you're not going to enter a relationship with that person, because you already know. And that also goes with like people who come from like really healthy families. right?
Wow.
It's like people who come from like their parents are super loving, nurturing, but disciplined.
Yeah.
It's healthy. It's got great communication. You know, that person is not really going to be stepping into like a mediocre relationship.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
Right?
I wonder what their relationship is with themselves. What does that look like for them?
Yeah.
Comment below.
Comment below. Do you come from a healthy, happy family? But yeah, that's why I don't do anything that I don't love to do. Because it's like, well, I know what it feels like to do what I love.
Mm-hmm.
And so why the hell would I ever do something that I don't?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's no comparing. There's no comparison. I would never.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think that's also how that's how I try to practice being like my own friend, because like, you know, we talked about how like I have green energy and I like to take care of people and I love to like see the best in people.
Mhm.
So that to me is just like what I'm working on, of just like taking care of myself and appreciating everything I am.
Yeah.
And that helps me like love people better.
Maybe you are often tired because you spend a lot of time thinking about loving yourself better instead of doing.
Ooh.
Because like you were just saying, you know, when you were a kid, you're drawing these characters for yourself, you're doing it. You're actually you're like actively doing something physical and you're making yourself happy. And you know, thinking can only go so long. Like you also exist in the physical realm.
Yeah.
So there needs to be that sense of like fulfillment in this realm too.
Ooh.
What do you think you could like do to like what types of things? I mean, obviously drawing, but like, you know.
What do I like to do?
I feel like we had this conversation.
Right.
Like
I know, I was gonna say
months ago. Yeah.
I don't know if it was like one of the throwaway episodes or just us just talking.
We don't have throwaway episodes. Just kidding.
We do. Some of them are so bad. You guys are so welcome.
They're gonna be like, oh my god, this is good.
This made the cut.
I know, right?
This.
Sheesh.
Yeah, but I think it was just like, I think we talked about how like I got back into drawing and how like that felt good and how I felt like I got like a piece of myself back. You know, because at the end of the day, I just neglected that part of me and I forgot that I was that. And when I got back into it, it's just like, it's like an old friend you haven't seen in so long.
Yeah.
And it's so refreshing and it's so good for your soul. And it's just like, chef's kiss. Where have you been all like my life?
And you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
I used to say this as a kid because I was absolutely head over heels in love with dance. And I used to write about it. Like, there's this sense of boundlessness and freedom I felt being able to perform.
Yeah.
And I can't even I struggle to put into words. And that's why I would write about it, like how in love I was with dance. And I remember thinking to myself, like, and some people are never going to find this. Like, some people are never going to find the thing
passion.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I can't imagine myself without passion. Like, I just can't. Now that I know what it feels like, it's like, this is what I want. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like good sex.
Yeah. Once you've had good sex, you're never going to want bad sex ever.
Or mediocre or like average sex. It's like average sex.
Fuck out of here.
What do you mean? Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's funny how like even, or like, you know, I also knew that like when I was young, but as like you get older, you lose sight of things, or like
you get so lost in your day-to-day, the things you have to do, your responsibilities.
Yeah, like just being an adult, you know, especially because like not everyone has passion. So then they enter careers that will just like, that will make them money, because that's what most people will go as, will seek security. And there's nothing wrong with that, or if they do have passion. I got surrounded with people with different passions than I did, because earlier I was talking about how like I actually gravitated towards people who drew when I was a child. So when I got into college and I was just taking like the general, the general classes, everyone is like into different paths. And that's kind of like when I kind of lost that sense of myself of like drawing and being into arts. And it wasn't until like I declared a major that it got renewed. And like, I was talking to like-minded people who have the exact same passion as you. And they're the ones who's really going to like take you to that next level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense, because it's like you, I don't know, it does a lot of things. When you share common goals with people, it excites you to want to pursue what you want to do. That's super important. It's a lot harder to pursue what you want if you don't really have other people that are either pursuing it as well or have already pursued it, like backing you up in your corner. You know what I mean? Yeah. Friendship. Our friendship.
We're friends.
What's your name again? What's there to say? We've been friends since freshman year of high school. That was 2006. So it's been some time since we were friends, and yep.
That's about it.
We already described how we met each other. What episode was that? I don't remember.
Oh, damn well.
Memories.
Yep. I was gonna say, damn well my memory is not good, which
we did cover in memories, and clearly it holds true. Yeah, we met in high school, and originally we did not want to call each other best friends. We were like, why am I talking like that? We're like,
I don't know. But I think we did that a lot in high school, and that's why you probably just like reverted back.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
Yeah. You and Dina were just so into like accents. You know what I'm saying? Every day is a different accent. Not even every day, every hour. every hour.
Like, girl, shut up. Yeah, we did not want to. I think it was the title was placed upon us. Everybody recognized our best friendship, and we kind of just were like, I guess. I don't know. I guess.
I think it was just like around that time too, where I just didn't understand what it meant anymore. Like, the best friends just kept getting thrown around so much in my life. Like, oh, you're my best friend, and you're my best friend. And then the thing about me is, I moved a lot. I left the Philippines. I left my best friend there. I went to middle school, and then after middle school, like, I wasn't friends with my best friends anymore. So then to me, like, the word just kind of like lost its meaning.
Oof.
So to me, it was just like, I don't even know what a best friend is. So to me, it was just like, I don't know if she is my best friend. Maybe not.
What is a best friend? Comment below. Comment below. What is a best friend? What type of, requirements have to be filled?
What are your expectations?
And that's the thing. It's like, to be a best friend, it's like, then you do have some sort of expectation, or do you not? Or is this a person you have no expectation of whatsoever, but you just know that that's like a best friend? I guess it's just up to what your liking is.
Yeah.
To determine that for yourself. I don't even know when we started to use that term. Actually, I don't even use that term.
Same.
Unless it's like a stranger.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, now I guess I use it because we've been best friends for so long, and it's just the easiest way to describe that. No one's gonna be like, what?
That's sis.
What?
That's sister. You know, like, it's family at this point. For a long time, I did tell people, oh no, like, she's my soulmate.
Yeah.
But it's like people get weirded out, like, oh, so you're in like a romantic relationship with her? Yeah. No, it's not romantic. Yeah. At least I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You tell us. Do you guys get the vibes? Is there sparks? Pause. Nah, you know, we love to lie. No. And that's what it is. That's where it came from.
Episode 5, 6, 7, one of them. But you know what? I do remember this sense of, like, comfortability that we had, that I just felt like we could do anything and go anywhere, and it didn't matter. Yeah. Because we were with each other. Yeah. And that was, like, our experience in high school, after high school, now. But, like, it's this, I guess for me, it's that. It's feeling comfortable. Because maybe I just don't feel comfortable. Yeah, that's a fact. That's actually a fact. It's very hard for me to feel comfortable around people. Same. Because I'm a weirdo. But
same.
But having that, like, feeling of being comfortable with you, I think is what made me realize, like, oh yeah, she is my best friend, because I feel so comfortable and confident in being myself, and it's not gonna matter, you know, because
and I just
she's
also
gonna be there.
Feel like, you know, eventually, every time I just said something to you, you just understood what I meant. And then most of the time when I say stuff to people, you know, and then I'm also like I'm also not very open to begin with, but when I do open up sometimes, they don't understand, or they just react differently, and I was just like, I don't know. Okay. But anyway, I just want to finish my thought. I think it was just like, you know, but every time, I've never felt that with you. Yeah. It's just like every time I've told you something, it's always like, oh wow, or even if you question it, even if you don't agree with it, like, you know, just the way you, like,
you still feel understood.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still feel seen. I have a theory, and I think you feel that way because you only display yourself in a certain light for people. Like, you want people to look at you in this, like, certain way. Like, for example, your friend who got you the red journal. No, the red
notebook.
Red notebook. Yeah, she got you the red notebook, and she's like, you know, oh, it reminded me of you, and we're kind of like, red? Yeah, but it's because you are a certain person with her, and that's, like, the way that you show yourself to her. And people only, like what I was saying earlier, people will see you in relation to them. And so you opening up and talking about something, it kind of won't make sense, because it's
jarring.
It's out of character for what you've built your relationship to be like with them, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
It's, I don't know. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, for now. But maybe it's that. And you know what? I don't give people the chance. I don't give people the chance to get to know me.
Yeah.
So I don't really have that experience. And maybe it's because I'm so comfortable in my relationship with you that it's like, you know, I don't need it from anywhere else.
Yeah.
And so it's
like I
you're
said,
holding me
you
back,
only have
bro.
one chair,
you're holding me
and
back,
I'm
bro.
always sitting on it.
Yeah, and
get more chairs, then, girl.
I can't get any more chairs. Yeah. I only have one chair. Yeah. No, I can.
You can. And you have.
Yeah.
We're just joking, you guys. It's what we do. We joke. We joke.
Yeah, and I hope everybody has a friendship like this, though.
Me too.
But you know what? They don't.
I know. Not everyone.
Yeah. Or maybe they have it in a different capacity.
And that's cool, too.
Yeah.
Because maybe we don't have that. the different capacity. I don't need it.
I know, you just said it.
No,
but I want it.
I want it all. I want all the friendships.
Okay, get it then. But it's that feeling of just being comfortable, not feeling afraid of judgment, or not feeling afraid of, I don't know, not feeling afraid of anything.
Yeah.
It's like a sense of fearlessness you have with a person. Mm-hmm. How romantic. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Okay, well, we've been drawing this episode out. It's quite a lengthy one. That's what she said. And now for the closing.
Don't forget to tell them what to do.
I know. Thanks so much for listening, guys. I know
we were all over the place today.
But we are not going to apologize because we are just being authentically ourselves. And if that's something that you cannot enjoy, then I ain't mad at you. But if it is something you can enjoy, if you like this topic, talking about friendship and, having these revelations of how you relate with people and your relationships with your friends and whatnot, if this is a topic that you enjoy, share it with your friends. Share it with your best friend. Talk about it. Share this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Two Perfect Podcasts. Email us at twoperfectpodcasts@gmail.com. And you can listen to us on every podcast streaming platform. We appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for your patience and your presence and just being yourself. And we hope you love yourself and take care. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye. You whispered that. Bye.